Let's talk about your most personal information. I'm talking about your health data. Think of it like a digital treasure. And just like any treasure, it needs a serious fortress to keep it safe. So today, we're going to look at the blueprint for that fortress, how we build it, and more importantly, how we defend it.
It's a question we should all be asking ourselves, right? Is the data that you're entrusting to all these different apps and institutions really secure? Well, the truth is, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. It's complicated because securing our data is a constant, ongoing battle.
So the official name for all this protection is data security. But it's not just one thing, it's a whole system of safeguards. To keep our fortress analogy going, data security is pretty much everything. It's the high stone walls, the deep crocodile-filled moat, and the guards who are walking the perimeter 24/7. It's the whole shebang.
Now, if you're going to build a good defense, you've got to know your enemy first. So who are these invaders trying to breach the walls? Well, it turns out the threats to our data come in all shapes and sizes.
And here's the first surprise. Threats don't always come from some shadowy hacker in a dark room halfway across the world. Sometimes the call is coming from inside the house. An honest mistake by an employee can be just as damaging as a full-on cyber attack from the outside.
And yeah, the data's pretty clear on this. We humans are often the greatest risk. This can be anything from an oops moment, like accidentally deleting a super important file, to something much, much worse, like a ticked-off employee trying to cause chaos, or an insider literally selling secrets for cash.
You know, one of the sneakiest ways attackers get in from the outside is through what we call social engineering. This has nothing to do with hacking code and everything to do with hacking people. It's a psychological game, a con, designed to manipulate you into just handing over the keys to the kingdom. And the tactics they use are pretty clever. You've probably seen phishing emails, right? The ones that look legit but are totally fake. Spear phishing is even scarier. It's super targeted, using your personal info to trick you. Then you've got baiting, like leaving an infected USB stick on the ground, just waiting for someone's curiosity to get the better of them. And don't forget good old-fashioned tailgating. You know, just slipping in through a secure door right behind someone else. Check this out. This is a perfect, real-world example of a phishing email. See that suspicious-looking link? They are counting on you to click that before you think. And look at the generic greeting, "Dear valued customer." That's a huge red flag. A real company would almost always use your actual name. But wait, it's not just people we have to worry about. The fortress itself can be at risk from the environment. Think about it, a flood, a fire, a massive power surge, or even just simple hardware failure. If you don't have good backups, a natural disaster can wipe you out just as completely as a hacker can. And of course, we have to talk about the digital plagues, malware. You've got your classic computer viruses that infect files and worms that can crawl across a whole network all by themselves. You've got Trojan horses that look like legit software but have a nasty surprise inside. Then there's spyware, which just watches everything you do, and the really nasty one, ransomware, which locks up all your data and holds it hostage. It's a whole zoo of malicious code out there. Okay, so that is a lot of scary invaders. It's enough to make you want to unplug everything. But how do we fight back? Well, you don't just start building walls at random. No, you need a blueprint, a solid framework for a real defense. And in the world of information security, that blueprint has a name. It's called the CIA Triad. And no, not that CIA. This one stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. These three pillars, these three principles, they are the absolute foundation of any security program that's worth its salt. So, first up, we have C for confidentiality. This is basically the principle of secrecy. It's all about making sure that your data is only ever seen by the people who are actually supposed to see it. It's simple, right? Your medical records, they should be confidential. Only you and your doctor should be looking at them, not your neighbor. Next up, I is for integrity. You can think of this as the principle of truth. It's about making sure that your data is accurate, complete, and hasn't been messed with. You absolutely need to trust that the blood type listed in your medical file is your actual blood type, without any mistakes or malicious changes. And finally, we have A for availability, the principle of access. I mean, think about it. What's the point of having perfectly secret and totally accurate data if you can't get to it when you need it most? It's useless. In an emergency, your doctor needs to be able to pull up your health history right then and there. That's availability in action.
Okay, so we've got our CIA blueprint. We know what we're aiming for. Now we can actually start building our defenses. And usually these defenses get broken down into three main categories, or safeguards.
First, you've got your administrative safeguards. Now, this is the human side of security. It's all the policies, the procedures, the employee training programs. This is basically the official rulebook that tells the Fortress guards how to do their jobs right.
Then we have the physical safeguards. This is the stuff you can actually touch. The solid steel locks on the server room door, the security cameras, the alarm systems. These are the literal walls and gates of our fortress, the things that physically keep bad guys out.
And last but not least, we have the technical safeguards. Okay, this is the cool high-tech stuff. We're talking firewalls, data encryption that scrambles everything up, and intrusion detection systems that act like digital tripwires. This is the advanced surveillance system that's actively protecting the treasure.
Now, a huge part of technical security is just controlling who gets in. And it really boils down to a simple 3-step dance. Step 1, identification. You claim who you are, usually with a username. Step 2, authentication. You prove you are who you say you are, maybe with a password or a fingerprint. And finally, step 3, authorization. Now the system looks at who you are and decides what you're actually allowed to see and do. So when it comes to that second step, proving who you are, there are always trade-offs. You know, passwords are super easy, but they can be weak or stolen or just plain forgotten. Smart cards are way more secure, but you can lose them. And then you have biometrics, like your fingerprint. It's really hard to fake that, but that tech can sometimes mess up, and it brings up some pretty big privacy questions. Now, it's really important to remember that all of this stuff, the CIA triad, the safeguards, it's not just a collection of good ideas. Very often, it's actually the law. For health information here in the US, the big one, the law of the land, is the HIPAA security rule. And what's really smart about this rule is its design. It's not some rigid one-size-fits-all set of instructions. It's flexible, so the security measures can be adapted to fit the company. It's scalable, so it works for a tiny 2-person clinic just as well as it does for a giant hospital. And it's technology neutral, which means it focuses on the security principles, not on forcing you to buy some specific piece of software.
So when it all comes down to it, here's the big takeaway. Defending our digital fortress isn't just one person's job. It's not just up to the IT department. It's a team effort that relies on good policies, smart technology, and most importantly, on people, on all of us. Which really just leaves one last question. As a user and a potential guard of this fortress yourself, are you doing your part?